Governor Greg Abbott extended the deployment of National Guard troops at the border with Mexico following the spike of illegal immigrant children crossing into our state. Governor Abbott also criticized the federal government with regard to more than 10,000 unaccompanied children coming into the U.S. in October and November. That is double the number of crossings in the same 2 months last year. Many of those children caught at the border in recent weeks are now in North Texas. Fox 4's Phil Alvarado is at the Ellis County shelter. And Phil, you toured that camp.
That's right, Clarice. And one of the things we learned is that the number of children coming across the border is increasing. Also, we found out that there's a $12 million budget to care for the 1,000 illegal immigrant children who are already here or on their way to Texas. It's expected that they'll spend somewhat less than that. They told us they would make this into a small city, and they have. They've got medical personnel, security personnel, everything these kids really need. But it will only operate for 21 days, which means that some of these kids will be here on Christmas Day. We were not allowed to take video, photos, or any audio of what we saw and heard on the tour. But video and pictures provided by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services show the illegal immigrant children, but not their faces. What we saw were 12 to 17-year-old boys and girls playing soccer and basketball. Others were watching a movie.
There's a joy and a happiness that I see on their faces, and I know some of what they've been through to get here. And when you consider the struggle they've had, and that for this little bit of a moment, they're at peace and they feel protected and they can laugh and have a good moment, that's made it worth it to us.
The North Texas District of the Assemblies of God operates the Lakeview Camp near Waxahachie. And while they're willing to be compassionate and provide a place for the children, the group says, make no mistake.
What we're doing here to take care of these kids is not a show of support for the policy of the United States of America. It's not a show of support for the way it's being done, for how we're handling our relationships with other nations, for the decisions that are being made in Washington.
The camp gets $60 a day for each child. The contractor operating the camp for the Department of Health and Human Services says it will cost just over $6 million to run this camp for the 21 days that it will operate. There are about 500 kids here now. That number will grow to 700 by the end of the week. That's when another 300 illegal immigrant children will start arriving at a camp in Rockwall County. The cost there for 21 days will be almost $2 million. Now, one of the things that we were told is that, of course, nobody's really happy about spending all these tax dollars, but they say that as long as the kids are here, they're going to use the money to take care of them as best as they can. As we said, most of these kids will be placed with either parents who are already here or with close relatives, but that only begins the process of immigration in the courts. Clarice?
And Phil, the government says the children are going to stay for 21 days. Is that firm, or is it likely to change?
No, that's pretty firm, because the state of Texas only provides the government a 21-day license, and there's no forgiving on that. It's 21 days, so most of these kids will either be placed with family members or they'll go to other facilities. And of course, Rockwall, starting at the end of this week, will have a few more days left, so some of them may go over there.
All right, Phil Alvarado live. Thank you.